Yep.
We shaking and baking?
Yeah, we are.
Welcome back to Black Bulb Podcast. Today we got Christian Gabriel.
Say hi,
Did I do
Christian.
that right? Yeah. And today, and so we got some Cascade Street Distillery Chipotle peppered vodka. Cheers to that. 80 proof. There we go. Man, it's hard to cheers. I can't. Don't.
Spill it all over the equipment. Beautiful.
Woof. Spicy.
Yeah, that's hella spicy.
That's spicy.
That is a peppery vodka, but I dig it.
I like it too. You know, for being spicy, it is smooth.
Yeah.
I just want
Everything
to
that
pour
makes
it
it
in
smooth.
like Tostitos, like scoops, and just.
Oh my gosh. Just dip it like salsa.
Yeah.
Add it to
Dude.
your guac.
Dude, what you could make salsa out of this. You know, but
That-
like, just to flavor the salsa,
Instead of
that'd
lime,
actually be
that would be
bomb.
instead of
badass.
lime juice, just put some of this vodka on it. Wow. How like much of an alcoholic move is that?
Well,
Like,
No,
I
put it with the
actually-
lime.
I
Why not
actually
mix
one
them?
time I poured Jack Daniels in barbecue chicken without really cooking it. Don't ever do that. It's
just
pretty.
poured it.
It was like taking bites of shots. It was just weird.
So Christian is a painter illustrator, new to Portland actually, from Long Island.
Don't tell anyone.
You're from Portland. You've grown, raised here. Yeah, you lived on 15th Street. You used to skateboard
I
there.
have the Portland the membership card, so it's
Yeah.
cool.
So
Token.
let's just go through like your story right now because you got a little bit of an interesting one.
So I was born and raised in Amityville, Long Island, and I get the horror house all the time. Like, ooh.
Mhm.
So I was there for until my teenage years, and then I really relocated with family to Vegas. And shortly afterwards, after high school, I joined the Marine Corps right out of high school, and then I feel like that's when my life began. Like just all the ups and downs, and the Marine Corps kind of led into my artist life. When I came back from Iraq, that's how I found painting because I use that as an outlet for PTSD. So I started for about this is kind of funny because I have a drink in my hand, but for about 2 years, I was just a heavy drinker and just like no control. I mean, this is like the discounted version because we don't have much time, but I just got inspired and I went to school for media arts and animation, and I something sparked in me, and I felt like at my darkest hours where I felt most alone, I could pick up a brush. I didn't need anybody else but myself and my imagination, and I just let it take over. And I remember in one of my very first couple of paintings, just having that joy of like, you know, looking down at this canvas and painting and creating, and then all of a sudden thinking, like looking up at the clock and like 6 hours has gone past. Like I thought that was amazing, and it was really like this mental release. So so ever since then, I started showing. I started taking it more seriously. Started my business, and it's kind of weird because when you say, "Oh, I own a business," people are like, "Oh, what? Like air conditioning?" And
Yeah.
no, art. Oh, that's not a business. You know, like
Yeah.
they kind of discount that. Like what? Yeah. So that kind of just raveled into this small monster, and I actually became really good friends with one of the guys from Ghost Adventures, one of the shows, the Ghost shows, and that became a really good relationship. We actually went to different conventions, and I would sell my art there. Like we would go to Scarefest every year
That's awesome.
in Kentucky, and
How'd you meet him?
he went to one of my first Friday gigs.
Oh, nice.
And he's so like he's so animated, and he's just like dude, I've been looking for that signature. This is exactly how he talks. Like, he opens his eyes real big, like, dude, I've been looking for your art everywhere. I finally found, and I mean, he has like, I want to say he has over 10 pieces of mine in his house, and we just became friends. Like, we started hanging out and everything, and then he's actually from Portland.
Oh, weird.
But he lives in Vegas. So, anyway, so that kind of jump started my whole art career, and then I moved here, got involved with East Creative, one of the creative gallery places across the river, and now I'm looking forward to doing work with Do Good Multnomah. It's one of the veteran nonprofits on the east side that helps homeless veterans find housing for homeless veterans. And I'm looking to start an art class for veterans. It's not going to be an art therapy class because then I'll get in trouble.
Yeah.
So it's actually going to be called "This is not an art therapy class."
Wait, why would you get in trouble?
Because he's not a doctor.
Yeah, I don't have the title,
no,
So I will. It'll be driven by art and really focused on teaching these veterans just basic skills to get them interested and inspired.
Yeah.
And then I'm probably gonna push for them to actually go to art therapy. So, like, give them the tools to start operating and do what they want to do, and then maybe some guidance through somebody else. So,
from your experience, have you come across quite a few veterans who you think would benefit from this and who have shown interest for it?
I've had a couple of responses, like people asking me, actually in Vegas, like, can you help me teach a flower, or can you help me paint a flower, or something so minor. And and at the time I was thinking, I don't want to teach. Like, I wasn't there yet, and I feel like now I am. I'm ready to give back. Yeah,
I feel like that's a tricky one because there might be a lot who don't know that they are interested in it. You know what I mean? Like, they might come back and they might think like, oh, I don't want to draw. I mean, and I can't speak from experience at all, but do you think their mindset is close to that, or how would you get their attention?
Okay, so I drew, Spider-Man and Batman while I was a kid. I never thought I'd be an artist, like,
right,
as a trade. I think this is probably kind of quoting someone out, like a famous quote, but we're all artists. We're born artists, and somewhere along the lines, when we grow up, people start telling us, "You're not an artist. Like, you can't do that as for a living."
Right.
And then we start telling ourselves that, and then we just start being an accountant or a fucking insurance broker or something.
Well, I wonder if it's like, I mean, like, because like obviously we need accountants and insurance brokers and doctors and shit. But at the same time, it's like that doesn't mean. But I feel like everyone has something that they can contribute artistically, just somewhere, like in some way. I feel like everyone has at least a little bit of that, and that's a good thing to keep in touch with, throughout your life.
Well, people like struggle to find the practical use behind a lot of art, but good artists will find that out. And it's usually people who aren't artists who tell you can't.
Yeah. I feel like the same. I feel the same. Most people I know who are artists, even if they don't like what you're doing, they're not like super discouraging. They're usually like, well, it's like you just need to work harder. It's not like quit. It's not like you just don't do it. You know what I mean?
I think it depends on the person. Call me crazy, but people who have no artistic abilities or just lack it or just really never even tried.
Well, I was talking about other artists.
Yeah. Other artists telling you not to?
Yeah. No, I was like most other artists, I feel like, who are more successful than you or whatever, they won't. If you make something shitty, they're not going to be like, just quit. They're usually like, oh, they're like, well, that's and if you make good stuff, they'll encourage you. Like, hey, this is great. Like, keep at it. But even if you don't, they'll usually be like, well, this isn't good, but just maybe try this, do this. They'll give you something to go off of. Feed you a little bit.
At least they understand the process. Michael Jordan didn't know how to shoot a hoop at one point in his life.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. That shit's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's like a mental block that some veterans have into allowing themselves to be creative?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a difference because when you say veterans, I think there are some veterans that come back and, they come back fine. It just depends on everyone's experiences. But
yeah.
I believe like broken veterans, because whether or not, like, nobody wants to admit it. That's the thing. There's a stigma about admitting you're broken.
Yeah.
And
that's so true.
Yeah. And especially when you're in the military, you're just constantly telling yourself, everyone else is telling you, suck it up. You could do it. Get over this hump, So you have all this training, but then when you come back, you don't have any more training. It's kind of like, they're just like, okay, well, thanks for your service and get the fuck out of here.
Go figure it out now.
So I feel like, oh shit, what was the, can I say?
Question? Yeah, you can swear.
Okay, cool.
You can say fucking motherfucking piece of shit, cocksucker, whatever the fuck you want.
I'm sorry, what was the question again? Because I
was just wondering, like, do you feel like certain veterans have blocks when it comes, like mental blocks or emotional blocks when it comes to being creative?
Definitely.
Like they have to, I don't want to lead you too much. I want to know,
well, definitely when it comes to depression, like I'll be the first to admit that that I was struggling with depression, still, here and there, but it's just when you go through something that nobody else really understands, you feel alone, and that's why it's so important to reach out to somebody. But that's the catch-22, because you don't want to reach out to anybody because you're depressed. Like, it's just easier to stay, indoors and, have your habits and everything.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where art comes in, because when you trap yourself, you trap yourself with a brush, and then it's like you go into this world and get lost, and then what was cool is that I tell everybody that I brought the VA to me because, like, I don't know if they're overstaffed or understaffed or overworked or whatever, but back then, so we're talking like 06, 07, I couldn't literally get an appointment, like a mental health appointment, to save my life.
Really?
Here in Oregon?
In Vegas.
Oh, in Vegas. Okay.
And so I tell everybody that I brought the VA to me because after all these paintings that I did, I finally got up the nerve to go and show it off. And one thing that I noticed when I was doing that, people were coming up to me asking, like, talking to me. And I think that's so important because you have to express yourself somehow. So, you put it on canvas, but then the second part that's so important is actually, communicating with other people and talking about your feelings. And sometimes it's a bonus because there's other veterans that are just in the crowd. And like, there was one painting that I did that, like, I did the painting and then I did a bunch of writing on the side of it. And it was just this short story of how I feel, like how I can't sleep, so I take a pill to sleep. I take a pill to wake up. I take a pill to be happy. And this guy came up to me and I was like, "Did you deploy? Like, or you were in the military?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he said, "I totally get it. Like, I was in too. Like, so other veterans recognize other veterans through just fucked up shit."
That's incredible.
So within time, I don't want to paint the picture, no pun intended, that like art's the end all be all. Like,
Right.
Like once you paint a picture, then you're
All your
saved
problems
and
go
everything.
away, yeah.
I don't think that's the case with anything. But it definitely helped me. Like that, it is definitely the reason I'm here today. I've had a lot of dark years, and I feel like I switched the person that I was for a different person. I had so much anger inside of me. I was so mad, so one of the things that in Iraq, we lost a lot of people. There was I lost a friend. I was involved in an incident that lost 14 Marines, and I shipped them home. And to go through something like that and kind of witness someone else's son and father, brother, wearing the same uniform, that is really heavy. It's a lot to really take in. So with that being said, that art has really helped me. Fast forward through just a couple weeks ago, I found a different kind of art. It's called ART. It's a different type of therapy, and it's actually right here in Northwest.
What does it stand for?
Accelerated something therapy.
I've heard of this before, and I hate myself for not remembering it.
It's you follow their hands and you just kind of go back and forth. But
ART therapy.
What was that?
ART therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it common for veterans?
No, actually, it's something that started within the past 10 years, and I feel like it's still new that not very many people know. And my guy up here, he's on Pettygrove, Dave Ebaugh. I don't know. It's a thing. You follow his hands, and it's this whole thing that you kind of erase your memory and you pick a new one. And I don't know. It's so weird because it only happened a week ago that I did this therapy, and I'm able to talk about this today without crying. Like for 13 years, I would have a frog in my throat, and I couldn't talk about anything related to Iraq. And through this, it's amazing. It's just weird.
So the ART therapy thing, like, are you looking it up? Like, are you finding?
It's accelerated resolution therapy.
Resolution therapy, yeah.
It took me a while to find. Like, I found it literally the second that you said, "Are you finding it?" That was when I found it.
Yeah. I'm really curious. So it's like a motion memory.
Well, you concentrate. You play everything back like a movie. You then go back and kind of think like Photoshop. You're just like erasing everything.
Yeah.
And then you're redirecting. You're thinking of an ending that you would rather have. So,
wow.
So it sounds kind of like a placebo effect type of thing, but I don't know. He knows all about, like, he'll be able to tell you, but so weird. So I still have feeling like that's the thing. The VA just wanted to give me pills. Like, oh, shut up. Here you go.
That's
like,
so fucked up.
And at one point, like, I didn't realize it, but at one point I was like a zombie. I was like really just walking with
diluted,
with no emotion. Like, I would be like, oh, that's funny. Like I would have nothing. So, but with this therapy, like, I'm able to, like, I still feel. That's the thing. But I'm able to, like, kind of let it go. It's weird. So,
wow.
I don't know if I went on a tangent or if I answered your question or what.
No, you totally answered it. No, this is great. This is great.
Yeah, I think you were going somewhere good. I like that because especially when you talked about the veterans like entering the program with depression or recognizing that. I feel like people have that issue with depression. They have it with addiction. They have it with so many things, but being able to admit that there is an issue there is the biggest, toughest step for most people.
Well, yeah, that's like I said before, like there's a stigma against admitting that you need help.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
I was just going to ask if you feel like your personality has changed. Like, were you a different person before you admitted that you needed? Was that like an epiphany for you, realizing you needed help, or was that like a huge step? Like, did that change who you are?
I was a pretty happy kid. I went in the Marine Corps, got deployed. I came back different. Like,
right, yeah. Which is common, right? I mean,
yeah.
Not you think you changed more than the average person, or
I don't know. I don't really, I don't know.
You didn't really like check in with other guys to see if they'd changed, or
well, just because like the incident I was involved in, it was kind of like I don't keep in contact with all the other guys that were involved in that that incident. So sometimes I felt alone. And
is there a reason that you didn't, or just naturally it didn't make any sense to, or
it was one of those sometimes I would try and read it. So this is like pre-Facebook.
Right. Okay.
You know, like this is still when MySpace was, like, and not everybody had MySpace, and I don't know. It was just like, it was weird.
Mid-2000s.
Yeah, and I even I contacted a parent of one of the deceased Marines, and I really had to think about it. Like, did I do this? This is like fucking weird, and mostly because like I knew him in death. I wanted to know what he was like in life. So and that would make him more human to me, and like just I don't know. I think it would help me. So I reached out, and it was just a weird reaction, and not the thing that I wanted, and I just ended up not even following up. So, and it's totally understandable. Like I don't know if I would really want to talk to somebody that I don't know assisted my fallen, brother or whatever. So when I got back, I was, for the first, 6 months, I was kind of going through my own stuff and not really, I was partying a lot just to forget about everything. And, I had gotten out of the Marine Corps. I was a bellman in Las Vegas on the Strip. And I don't know to this day if it's true. Like it sounds a little too convenient, but I checked out somebody out of the room. I was bringing their bags out into the hallway, and they had this documentary on the television, and it mentioned the Marines that I shipped home, and I lost it. I was just crying like a baby, and I went straight home.
Whoa.
And I don't know if it was in my mind or if that happened. Like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that was the only thing going in my mind. So, like, if I was going crazy. But that day is when I found out that I needed help. And ever since then, it's been this journey of getting help because, like I said before, the VA has their own thing going on, and there's also other organizations that give help and like therapy and everything, and it's an uphill battle for sure. So, but any chance I get, like on your podcast, I believe in art, I believe in ART, I believe in talking about I mean, even if you're not a veteran, I just feel like mental health is something that really gets discounted, and we all need to address it.
It's been addressed a lot more recently, and I think that's definitely for the best.
Yeah.
And I don't know like what has changed, but it's good to see it. Like it's more accepted. It's not shunned or looked down upon like it might have been maybe like 10, 20 years ago.
Well, I think part of it, just from this going to school, is that there's so much more hard evidence now than there's ever been about brain chemistry. And people can prove how they can say, hey, look, I can literally prove that these small actions and these little things, or these things we're putting in our body, all these things are legitimately physically changing your brain chemistry. So they can explain a lot more, and they can just point out like, hey, don't do that. That's fucking with your brain. I can prove it with these pictures. So that has been really, really rapidly exploding right now and over like the past like 10 years, but just like exponentially. So that's, I think, made, there's just so much information out there that enough people can be like, oh, I feel shitty mentally because of the life that I've been living, and I can just change that. And once they realize that they can change that, then like, okay, we need to talk about this, because if I had never talked about it, I would have never figured it out.
It could, I think
you know what I mean?
Also,
it's just an information explosion.
Exactly to that. I saw this like post today about, it was like David Oppett. He posted how it's with sports right now, parents aren't wanting kids to play more than one sport in like high school, and the numbers have dropped so much that like football doesn't even have a JV team.
Dang. Wow. Well, football is super dangerous because you bang your head and everyone's getting CTE and all that shit. Yeah,
it's the research. Like people are figuring out like your brain gets fucked up. Your brain gets damaged all the time. And like they're trying to stop it. And I don't know about the one sport thing. I'm not sure if that makes sense. Like if you only play one sport a year, because some people play sports all around. I'm not sure what the meaning is by that. I feel like teamwork is cool.
Is that an Oregon thing or a Portland thing?
It's not a rule. It's just the mentality the parents are having.
It's the statistics, yeah.
But to hear that football only has varsity, like there's no JV anymore, that's crazy.
That is, yeah.
Yeah, that is intense. It's literally halved, I guess, then, if they're really cutting JV.
And football is huge. Like
or it was. Well, football's on the decline. It's just that I feel like they've been doing the best they can to try and keep that narrative out of the media. Maybe because it's like, I know so many people who don't watch anymore, who used to watch, including myself. Like, I don't know, a large number of people just stop watching for one reason or another. And I don't know. I think that's the direction we're moving in. It's literally imperialism as a sport. And so I think that's just a less appealing idea to most people these days.
Well, yeah. Or are we like going so far past the almost primitive nature of sports? You know how it's almost like a Roman thing, like the football.
Yeah.
Now we're in more of an informational technology based age, and they want the kids to focus more on that because that is more promising.
Yeah, it's much more promising.
Your chances of being a football player are slim to none, and if you do, you're gonna have a 3-year career,
and your health is gonna be shit.
Exactly. Yeah. So I kind of get it.
Totally,
but
for sure.
At the same time, you want your kid to be healthy, you want your kid to have friends, you want your kids to be social and be able to like do things.
And there's less people watching football, so there's less money there.
I mean, maybe not football, but like, what about soccer? I wonder what the
you're talking about sports in general.
Sports in general.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, for sure. That's a good point.
At one point, it could have been my darkest. At my darkest, I started thinking like, well, because I used to love sports like baseball, football, basketball. Started thinking like, that's just something to distract you before you die. Like it's just kind of
by watching it or playing it.
By watching it or either one.
Gotcha.
It's such a big part of our culture, and I just started thinking like I was like an avid collector. Like I'm a huge like Yankees, New York Giants, Knicks, but now kind of Trailblazers. Like
there we go. Yeah. Well, you're from here, so yeah. You know.
Yeah.
So my whole life. But I don't know, and it's kind of, it makes it all hard because I'm a new parent. So
congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah.
7-month-old at home, and I started thinking like, oh my God, like how do I explain to him my, like, because I never, like, I want him to find stuff out on his own, but at the same time, I'm like, geez, like, like the sports thing and like military, like, I want him to experience life however he wants to do it.
Right.
But like, there's a fine line because, like, experience or protecting, like,
yeah, you're
when
right.
do I say you can't play football? Like, that's fucked up. Do you want
to be scarred for life?
Totally,
or do you want to have a lesson learned? They're different.
Yeah, but or even like I'm totally gonna take him to games just because like that's part of my childhood. Like I want to I think it's important to see, like, I want to give him like all types of experiences and just say like you could be anything you want. Like just just put your mind to it,
And that's so important. I mean, I was on the way here listening to that Neil deGrasse Tyson, Joe Rogan, and he was referring or talking about how they made school to be such a chore, and even that song like "School's Out for Summer," all that, like people dread going to school because they're making you learn all this stuff that you don't want to learn or stuff you're not interested in. How can we position it in a way that you are learning what you are interested in? I mean, that's kind of that Montessori school mentality, which is interesting. Have you thought about that? I don't know.
I think most of the stuff that I've learned in school, like for 12 years, 13 years, like I don't even, it's all mostly the stuff that I've learned in college, like the stuff that I'm interested in. Like I hear that France, if you're doing bad at a certain part in your schooling, like I don't know what grade it is, but they just they just put you in tech school, or like they will they probably give you a test or something, but they'll figure out what you're interested in, and then you go to that school. That makes total sense. Like,
and they do something similar in Japan, don't they? Or
I have no idea.
Actually, I think I'm wrong. I think I'm flipping it because I know that college is one of those things where college in America, it's a lot more difficult once you get there. But in Japan, like you're really good at high school and all the grade school stuff. Then once you get to college, it's kind of a breeze. I think that's what I was hearing about it. But I'm not sure how that. I didn't grow up there.
You're a really genuine dude, for sure.
Thanks.
Like this was.
Thank you.
I think the most kind of loose I felt coming in. Like we were acting way less professional than usual. I came in just like I haven't even showered today, just like not giving a fuck, just like started chugging the vodka and the Dr. Pepper and being like, oh, it kind of tastes okay together, I guess. And it's like, what's up? And calling Alex a bitch and stuff. I don't know.
But see, I appreciate, like, that's how I am. That's what I believe. Like,
good.
Be yourself. Just like do whatever.
It's really
that's what I'm saying.
It's
You
weird
totally
to hear that think that you have that darker past, because when we were hanging out, we were being goofy as hell. When we were taking the photos, we were being really goofy.
Yeah,
and that's probably the goofiest I think we've ever been.
Totally.
Like,
no, you totally brought it out of us, and I was thinking about that when you were talking about. It's interesting to me that you did a painting and then just like wrote a little story next to it, because that to me is something that only someone who feels genuine and open and kind of honest in general as part of their personality would do, I guess. I don't know. That's what it said to me when I first heard it, and I was like, you know what, he did like kind of like loosen me up, and I don't know, I feel like the other guys just by proxy, because they just do whatever I do because they love me, but no, I'm just kidding.
Kind of the best guy I know.
Nothing's infuriated Alex more than me saying that. Except for the guy who stole his motorcycle. But
oh my god, yeah, you had a motorcycle stolen from you. It sucks. It sucks. It's all right though. We don't go into it. I hate that person.
Were you always like that though, or do you think that's something that kind of happened later in life?
What? Genuine?
Yeah.
I was actually I remember, as a kid, my mom saying like, do what you say what you do. Like, don't tell me you're gonna do something and not do it. and that's followed me my whole life because, and especially in my career now because so many people out there, they're like, oh, I'll show up, or I'll, I'm coming, or something, but they flake. There's like ghosting. I just heard that as a term. Like I feel old. Like that's a term that I didn't show up to the meeting. Like
the thing about ghosting is I saw this LinkedIn article, random, right? A LinkedIn article about how people are ghosting their jobs instead of properly quitting.
Oh my God.
And I've seen it happen.
Dang.
Yeah. Like
people, I worked at Chipotle and I worked 2 shifts and then I called them and I was like, I can't come in anymore. I can't do this. And they were like, oh, wow, thanks for calling and letting us know, man. I was like, is that not usual? And they're like, no. Yeah.
Wow.
It's really common now. Like people don't usually give those 2-week notices. They just kind of get up and leave one day. Either they don't show up or when that day's over, they low-key stuff all their stuff in a bag and then just never come back.
I think we're slowly getting away from just the like human connection. Like I don't get me wrong, like I love technology. I love the podcast and all the crazy gadgets you have going on, like all the fucking ninja cameras. but like I think too much anything is just like is bad, So I make it a point all the time, like when I'm on the elevator, put away my phone. Like even if other people like have their phone out, like I put away my phone just to like stay open, like for conversation.
They're all liars because you don't get self-service in an elevator. You know what I mean? Like they're all full of shit. They're pulling out their phone. They're not doing a damn thing.
That's true. I'm gonna tell them that next time.
You should call them out.
Dude, call up the strangers. Like you're not doing any fucking shit on your phone. They're like, I'm just using Evernote and typing shit. You're like, Evernote connects to Wi-Fi, you motherfucker.
It's true. Like I had this realization the other day. I'm like, there's no cell service in any elevator shaft. They're just full of shit. They're just like scrolling through the half loaded page like 3 times. Like, it's still not there. Let me close it. Open it again. Yep, still. Yep. Okay, let me try. I guess I'll look at the people I called the past couple days. You're not doing anything.
But I really feel like we need more human connection. Like, that's actually so. Are we going on time or?
We got a few more minutes.
Okay. So I'm actually one of the co-organizers of Wellness Week. September Wellness Week.
Oh, wellness.
It's September 17th through the 23rd, and we're activating about 10 different programs. Wellness Week, RoseCityWellnessWeek.com. And there's going to be like art, fitness, food, like all these different components, just to promote a healthy lifestyle before the dark months.
Like
it just feels like
they get dark.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of different things to do throughout the spring and summer, but I feel like going into the dark months, there's so much like doom and gloom and rain and everything that how about like we take this week and promote a healthy routine before that. So we have some art classes, I think every day during that week there are like exercise, like workout shop or workout classes in different places. That's cool. It's all on the website. But where's I going with that? It's this.
That's cool.
Vodka is really
it's good vodka. Thank you, Cascade Street Distillery. No, I wasn't aware of this Wellness Week stuff, so that's cool. So they do fitness, meditation, probably.
Probably.
And you're one of the co-organizers.
Yes.
Okay. So do they have a website or anything you want to plug for that?
Yeah, RoseCityWellnessWeek.com.
Rose City Wellness Week.
And then we're also on Instagram.
Nice.
I actually this morning I was all over downtown doing like guerrilla marketing, like with chalk.
Oh, there you go.
Drawing roses everywhere. So
hell yeah.
There was that's one of the things that. So when I got the opportunity to come on board with this, I was really excited because that's a week that kind of promotes that same thing. Like, let's build more human communication, like back and forth. Yeah, there'll be meetups and networking events and different opportunities like that.
So you're a law-breaking vigilante, just drawing whatever you want, wherever you want, just for your own gain and the gain of your friends, right? So no, I'm just fucking kidding. All right. Sorry, wait. Go ahead.
I will say, so it is chalk, but I will add that I did the Starlight Parade logo on the street, and it's still there. I was just there this morning. It's still there.
It's fucking awesome.
Nice.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's like 3 months ago.
Yeah, there's no rain.
Using like wax, like wax chalk or like pastels, just like the rain just beads off it.
I don't know.
Some acid rain like came and burned it into the ground, and you're just like, oh shit.
I don't know.
With all the smoke, like rain comes down through the smoky air and just turns into acid and just seals it into the ground. That's dope, dude. You got a piece there for all of eternity.
All of eternity.
Just because the rain hates Portland.
Was there anything else you want to plug about your artwork, your goals?
No, moving forward, I'm looking to do more mural work. I also do murals around town. And just my Instagram, official_Christian Gabriel.
Christian Gabriel.
And that's it.
Hell yeah.
We do appreciate you coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
You'll have to come back.
Yeah,
again,
we honestly need to hear more about your story. This wasn't enough time.
Yeah, I'm up for it. So.
Hell yeah.
As long as Cascade sends more of this stuff.
Hey, thank you, Cascade Street Distillery. That being said, whoever stole my motorcycle, I still hate you. I'll find you. I probably won't find you, but I've been getting some leads about people who think they see it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Dude, dope. That's good.
They say it looks like they spray painted the shit out of it.
Dude, that could be
shit.
like...
Yeah.
That
Keep
could
us
be
updated.
The Taken 4. Like, instead of like the family, it's
Taken
like
4. I didn't know they made a fourth one. Oh wait, so this would be the fourth. All right, whatever. I don't know what we're talking about.
The Moan identity. I just
Fucking
like sorry.
The Moan identity.
I get really good at like kung fu, like action scenes, like crooked cameras. I don't know.
You're like Alex, who was in your garage the whole time after all the training.
Dude,
he's like killed like 45 people to get your motorcycle
straight
back.
up. Okay, I should have been more upset about this when it first got stolen. The guy in my apartment, like the managers, were just drunk and led to somewhere. And I was like, no, I have the keys. I didn't just get drunk and leave a motorcycle somewhere. I would remember that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, shut the fuck. Okay. Anyways, that being said, thank you, Christian. You're a cool guy.
Thank
and
you.
whoever stole Alex's motorcycle will find you.
I will find you.
He'll find you. I'm not going to do much
yeah.
about it. All right. Thank you for coming on, man. We appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Like and subscribe. We love you. Peace.